So there'd be a number of teams very interested in taking Morgan Riley.
I'm curious, like the Leafs, the more I think of their roster, I talked about the talent deficit. Some of it to me is on the back end because now they're really big and really solid. But it's like someone with a little bit of upside on the offense. Because Riley's supposed to be that, but he hasn't been that. So I don't know. I see Rasmus Anderson's name is in here.
Like a guy like Aaron Ekblad?
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Rasmus Anderson for the Calgary listeners.
Yeah, and really in the same boat with Robertson and Nakash in Colorado, where it's like, okay, what are you willing to pay on a long-term deal? And if it's not there, then you got to move him. There's no other alternative.
Yeah, and looking at Calgary, they're probably their window. I don't know when they think their window is. They're not super young, So I don't know. He just tough to get people to Calgary sometimes. I'd hate to see them lose him. Great player.
The defenseman that has me very intrigued is Nick Hague in Vegas, because he's not going to make $7 or $8 million, but he could make $5 and change.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he's trade him soon or potentially have a team offer sheet him at 4.6.
At 4.6.
At 4.6.
Yeah.
And that's a second rounder.
And keep in mind, this guy, big as it gets on the back end. Won a Stanley 6'6", 240. 6'6", 240. And, won a Stanley Cup. He's proven he can play a depth role.
Yeah. So that to me, he could get traded this week.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
I don't know. Vegas doesn't appear that they want to pay him around $5 million, even with maybe even the Pietrangelo situation. I don't think that they're interested in getting him done on a long-term deal.
Hockey Hall of Fame?
Yeah, give us some names.
All right, the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. The player category, Duncan Keith, Zdeno Chara, Alexander McGillney, and Joe Thornton. This is a really good sports talk radio. Agree.
Great picks.
Good job.
There's a couple things to say. The Alexander McGillney one was, I think, overdue to some of us because this is the Hockey Hall of Fame, not the NHL Hall of Fame. There's a lot of resistance for him getting in, but I mean, this guy, the way he came to the NHL.
On what?
What do you mean based on what?
Why resistance?
Well, his NHL career left some wanting. Some effort. Some people didn't think he was.
His numbers were off the charts.
But some people didn't think that he gave it all he had.
Okay.
But he gave it all he had to get here.
Him in Toronto, for those 2 years, I was like, that's the best hockey player that's ever lived.
30?
Yeah, he scored, I think he scored just over 30, 33, 34 in his year for 2 years. But, man. And then the other names, the women's player category, Sportsnet's own Jennifer Botterill.
Oh, that's great.
Brianna Decker, Jack Parker, and Danielle Savageau. So there you go. And Jack Parker he coached at Boston University from like 1975 until 2013.
There's another coach.
For me, watching like McGillney and that, like it was like watching a wizard on the ice.
He's a freak of nature.
Him, Havelbury, and Sergei Fedorov.
Yeah, that was
like those three guys in particular are the guys that I got to play against and watch.
Russian
and go,
talent, extraordinary.
Oh my God.
Fedorov was the coolest hockey player.
How can you be that good?
Yeah,
sure. I will say Keith and Chara were the defensemen of that era of hockey. They were.
I think Keith, for me, if I had to pick of those players, if I had like in their prime guy to pick, I'm picking Duncan Keith of all those guys.
He could pinch so aggressively, and if he missed, he'd be back on the other side of you by his own blue line.
Breathtaking skater. Yeah. Breathtaking skater.
On the outside, still looking in, Keith Kachuk and Carey Price.
Yeah.
Carey Price didn't get in.
Surprised he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, Carey Price?
I don't know. No cups. But yeah, probably. Yeah, he'll get it.
David.
Yeah. Gazillion gold medals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought he would be a
trophy.
first ballot. All right.
It's getting harder and harder, though. I'll tell you what. And more emphasis now on Stanley Cup playoff success, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go check out Kipper's article on sportsnet.ca. A lot of names on here. I'll tell you about
Thanks, pal.
Carlson, Natchez, Bowen Byram, Byram and
Evander Kane.
Paterka.
Yes. A lot of talk about Buffalo players in general, just wondering about, is this organization ever going to see the playoffs again?
Probably not.
Right?
How
It's
did they
it's
do
an
it next
issue.
year?
It's an issue on, do I need to send the message that I don't want to be here long term? And that's what JJ is going through, and maybe a few others as well.
Tough spot for the management.
Yeah. Third rebuild in Buffalo.
Ooh. A lot of work there. A lot of work.
Oh, and Matt Martin retired. And
Oh, shout out to Matty Martz.
taking over as assistant GM for the Islanders, Matthew Darsh.
Ooh.
There you go. 15
Nice.
years in the
Nice
NHL.
gig.
Cool.
For special
Tampa?
advisor. In
In the island.
the island. Matthew Darsh is now the general manager of the
Right,
New
he's
York Islanders.
said taking over for.
No,
Okay.
I said he's taking over as
Gotcha.
assistant general.
He's in summer mode already, Sammy.
What are you guys talking
You know,
about?
he
I
golfs
was worried
today in
fine.
104-degree
No,
weather.
it was fine.
Okay?
How do you go, Matty?
There you go.
All right. Thanks for watching.